Hey.
Vegetarian. I know. Yeah. And third,
All right, everyone, welcome. Great to see you all. How are you doing? So, all our friends online, wherever you are, great to be with you. Open your cameras, share with your faces, with your friends. So, tonight class is very exciting, but before we start the class, let's review what we learned last week, okay? So, we learned one very powerful spiritual rule that explained to all of us that our life is a perfect plan. It designed to help me with my soul correction, meaning we discovered something new that probably none of us knew before, which it's called tikkun. It means that our purpose coming to this world is a single thing, to do our correction. So when we open it up, it's not really our job that is our purpose. It's not really our family that it's our purpose. It's not really our friend that it's our purpose. There are the stage, there are the environment, there are the vehicle for me to do my correction. Is that making sense? And most people mixed it up. So they believe that the ending goal of having an amazing career, that's where they want to be. But they can get there, but they can miss completely the reason and the purpose why they came to this world. They can be super successful. They can have the family that they want. They can have the home that they want, but not necessarily tackling the purpose why they came to this world. Is that making sense? So we can do things great with ambitions and writing our goals down and, learning and taking motivational courses and reading a lot of books on how to be successful in whatever we do. But if we not stop for a second and say, wait a second, this is what the cosmic wants for me, that's what the creator wants for me, or I'm driven actually by the reason why I actually been put on this world. Am I driven by my ego solely, or I'm driven by my soul purpose? Okay? So, because usually we try to bypass any kind of collusion in relationship. We try to bypass any form of pain in our life. We try to bypass not seeing too many failures in our life, not encountering ourselves with challenges in our life. We try to bypass those, and we think this is part of our purpose, to bypass those. But that's actually going completely against my purpose, because the challenge is there to show me something. This friend that triggers me is there to show me something solely for me. It's not about him. Usually we try to correct anyone else, to do the tikkun for anyone else, and we know their tikkun so perfectly. We know what they're doing. We know we know when they're going to start doing that, and we have the best judgment on how to make their life perfect. But what we're not noticing is why they are in my movie, and that's bring us to our spiritual second tool. Why? All the events of life, good, worse. Because even from the good part of life, if I channel it in the wrong way, it's actually going to downgrade me spiritually. Yeah? So many people that start as politicians from patriotism and wanted to help society and change the world, the moment they got into a specific form of success and having power, suddenly they start kind of, pull out from, maybe I just want to keep my seat in chambers. Yeah, I want to keep my power, so I'm willing to compromise on my beliefs of changing the world. So don't be tricked by success. The success of a person is when he's serving the mission of his soul, and it's not easy to find, and it's not comfortable to look at it. Okay, so any of us found some specific tikkuns, if the people online or here on from our homework, please share with us some specific things that you were able to find. We said how we recognize tikkun, you remember? How do we identify when we have a tikkun? Do you remember? Repetitive patterns, beautiful. Repetitive patterns. What else?
Well, it's uncomfortable. It's painful.
Exactly. Anything that is uncomfortable for me, it means that it requires some adjustments. It means that I need to learn to be at ease. Something needs to change within me to learn to be in ease with this occasion, with this challenge. Beautiful. Anything else?
Someone online says maybe too much malchut.
Too much malchut. She need to bring it to malchut for us. What does it mean? Too much malchut. It's the density of physicality. That's what she means. You know, Monica Berg shared with us something very interesting. So we all busy in consumption. Yeah. Consumption. It means it's not just eating. It's buying. Also, buying is consumption. Yeah. So we are constantly fixated on what we need to consume next. Yeah. Oh, I need another piece of attention. Oh, I need another clothing. Oh, I need this. I need this. Constantly in consumption versus creation. Our tikkun is to be creators. This is like, if you want to understand your tikkun, is every given moment I'm capable to be co-creator. If I'm not in that mode, it means that it's required correction. It's required fine-tuning. Is that making sense? So give me examples of things that you recognize this week that are patterns, moments of pain that repeating themselves. Yeah, speak to the mic.
Sure. My name is Josh. One of the things that I struggle with often, and you reminded me of this just now, is I'm consistently seeking things outside of myself to kind of like maybe fill a void, and that includes spending. So I continually try and prepare budgets or try and hold myself to a certain standard, but continue to act out on that. And I think that like the poor management of money is potentially something that I struggle with, right? And something that certainly is repetitive. Like I like to spend and I like to buy and I like to, even though if I tell myself I'm not going to, I'll continually.
In what? In the belief that it's going to serve your project or just to feel good?
No, just for external validation. It's mostly clothing.
Clothing, yeah, nice.
So I shop.
What brands do you like?
Really expensive ones.
Really? What? Yeah. What is expensive these days?
I mean, I like designer brands for sure. Yeah.
But there are new designer brands. I mean, you're not wearing Louis Vuitton.
I wear not today, but
sometimes.
Yeah.
You nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't know if it's nice on my bank account.
Cool. Thank you. Nice. Remember last week we talked about the baggage, the luggage, the bags that we have. Some come with a pretty bag of Chanel, and some coming with the how do you call it? No, the one with the one that you go into expedition backpacks. So the one that heavy, lows, the mountain ones that so heavy, but you carry it, and you need to. Yes, more examples. Anyone else? Yes, please, here. See if online someone wants to say something.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, two big tikkuns that I noticed within myself, even this week, were emotional eating and social media doom scrolling. That's what I do to kind of
explain that for me. Sorry.
Social media doom scrolling is when I'm just on social media, Instagram, YouTube, but for no purpose, just
I have that too.
Funny videos or
short form content.
Yeah, short form content, TikTok.
Yes. I to try to get a degree from different subjects on Instagram, you know. So I'm learning about health, I'm learning about consciousness, I'm learning about the brain and things like that. But it's still same addiction.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think we have some online too.
Yes.
Okay, Michelle, I find I always have scenarios where I need to set healthy boundaries.
That's a good one.
Iyari, I saw the patterns in my home the last week. Of course, I saw it in me too. Which patterns? I know.
Okay.
Oh, Iyari said, like, I can say I learned daily from my family. They teach me where I need to work. I saw the patterns in my home. That's the last week.
Sure. I mean, we all do. This is the reason this format of family was invented, so it's going to be around us 24/7. But the question is again, what your family members are triggering you? Because each and every family members of ours will be a channel for different things that we need to work on ourselves. All right.
There is like a small question, David.
Yes.
You say that we need to be creators. What is an example in case of consuming products, clothing? Like
start manufacturing products. Yeah, but this is the idea that, instead of I'm the effect of because everyone's trying to sell me something, isn't it? Everywhere we go, everywhere. On Instagram, even, what's the purpose? He wants to sell you himself. He wants to sell you his knowledge. There is a product behind you listening to all of this. Yeah, so everyone's trying to sell me something. And they're doing their job right, by the way. They try to be co-creator. They try to create something for themselves. It could be something very shallow. It could be something that is important and can be valuable for us. Yeah, but the question, am I someone that is constantly seeking for external validation or something that seems to be tangible for me to have? Or I'm also constantly creating. So you will see many successful people that they don't have the time to go on Facebook. They don't have the time to go on Instagram because they're so busy with their own mission that they have inside of them. It could be that they're going to create content that's going to go on those channels, but for the purpose of creators. Is that making sense? So we all meant to be someone like that. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't buy clothes or shouldn't buy food. But the obsession of what am I more? Am I here just to receive? Am I here to create? Okay? So the minimal things, of course, we all need, but we a bit over what we necessarily need. So we need wisdom, we need entertainment, but is it balanced? Is it controlling me or I'm controlling it? Is it for a purpose or is it because my life is empty right now, therefore I'm going to social media to find some kind of entertainment? There is a lot of dopamine just going on social media, by the way. That's the reason. We are constantly chasing after dopamine, constantly in different ways. And some of them are the wrong ways, of course. But it says that when someone awakens kindness, awaken creation, creativity, awaken overcoming something that is very difficult for him to overcome, challenging himself, there is an enormous amount of dopamine there too. So there are the easy way dopamines that we all jump into, saying, eating the wrong food, emotionally eating. It means that the moment I feel empty, I just look something that can, sustain me for a second, but I will forget from my lack. Yeah? But it's going to fill me only for a certain time, which is minimal. It's not going to be long-lasting fulfillment. It's not going to motivate me to do something greater than who I am right now. But when I'm getting addicted to the right dopamine coming from the place of being creative, and I find that, wow, this is really long-lasting. This is really meaningful. I don't want to be addicted to alcohol, drugs, shopping, and all of that to get energy, because it's very tiny energy, and that's why it requires addiction, because I want to repeat it, copy paste it constantly, and that's where addiction starts. Is that making sense? Okay. So, yeah, so I constantly, the cosmic is perfect, is a computer that designed in such a so every event that happens in my life is also there, I think, no? So every event that happens in my life is cosmically perfectly there. Can you imagine that the creator is such a sophisticated thing that he has a supervision over each and every one of us personally, making sure that the exact event will occur in our lives. Exact people will meet, short term and long term. The one that's passing through, like wherever we go in the streets, wherever we happen to be, and the one that have big roles in our life, relationships, friendships, work relationships, and things like that. It's amazing. So can you imagine that each and every one of us just get the perfect one? It's amazing. We need to trust that and to believe in that. Or if it's hard to believe, at least make an experiment of saying, okay, I'm willing to just believe that this axiom is true, even though I don't see it yet. I don't understand it yet. And I'm questioning it. And I'm questioning the cosmic, why is it in my movie? That's the way I'm going to receive the answer. All right? Any more questions online?
No.
Oh, yes.
Is this a tikkun? Because that's the main reason. That's the main reason why I came here. Is I see that for me, when I feel like the universe or God or whatever you call it has a lot of things to give me in my life, for example. But when it shows, I'm always so scared. I'm always riddled with anxiety and fears, and I don't do anything about it. And it keeps happening over and over again. It's like the universe is testing me if I can trust it. But it's like I know what's happening, but I can't trust. Like I don't believe for some reason, because I think of all the things that you can only believe things that are science based, or things that can be proven or can be seen. But I know it's there, but I just can't accept it. Is that a tikkun? You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good question what you're saying, but it's more related to belief, trust, and certainty. Yeah. So all of us really have the issue of, should I believe what I'm seeing right now? Should I believe that there is a way for me to ever be the success that I want to be? Should I believe that there is a way out from this labyrinth that I'm in right now, where I'm stuck right now? Is there a way out? But that's the only way, actually. Because if I'm constantly consumed with doubt, fear, lack, I know that it's just going to grow and grow and grow and not letting me really do anything, going to paralyze me eventually. So somehow I need to raise a force inside of me that believe in the unknown and trust the unknown. Is that making sense? That's what we're here to learn, and we're going to learn how to do it also. Yeah.
We have an online question.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it.
It's already done. If it is in my movie, does it mean it's important or a matter of distraction? How do we know the difference? It's Adrian. Okay, the question is, if it is in my movie, does it mean it's important or a matter of distraction? How do we know the difference? If it's important or it's a distraction?
What? Something is wrong. If it's in my movie, it means that it's serving a purpose, yeah? I cannot say something is not belong to me. Usually we try to say, okay, this I want, this I don't want. This I would like to avoid. This one I actually love, so I'm going to go for it. Usually the things that I want to avoid, they are having within them more energy. They have more gifts within them. But because they're uncomfortable, I rather not do them. Is that making sense? So everything that is within my movie serve a purpose, a big purpose. Is that answering?
Yes, everything okay.
Okay, so beautiful. Let's move to the subject of today. So you will see that we're going to build up your understanding, and we're going to touch it from different angles. So the angle of today, is to meet the opposer. Okay, who is the opposer? What does it mean? Do you feel times that there is some kind of an energy that try to prevent you to get what you want? There's some kind of people that are opposing whatever you believe in. There is some kind of things that happens that going completely against the plans. Now, they're not necessarily external, by the way. Some of them are very much internal. They are deep inside of us. So let's start with some examples by questions. So do you feel sometimes that you know there are things that you shouldn't do, but you're doing them anyways? Okay. Examples?
Eating like sugary foods.
Okay, we know that sugar is not long-term the best thing for us. It's proven. You talked about science, so it's proven. No doubts. It's tasty, of course, but it's proven that it's making enormous damage in our body. Enormous, long-term. Yes, but we jump on it any moment. Someone going to just, try to seduce us. He's putting a snack on the table, disappear, without even a second thought. Yeah, what else? Things that I know that are not good for me, but I do them anyways, spiritually, emotionally, physically, anything. Sure.
I feel I'm addicted to. I feel that I have an addiction to avoiding the things I know I need to do, or the things that would be good for me. And I mean that in like
yeah, but share with us examples.
When it comes to momentum. So an example.
Live example, something doesn't have to be super deep.
Oh, okay. So me personally, mine is with video games because I have a career in them, and now it's leaked into my for fun life, and it's just like one of the biggest barriers to doing what needs to be done because it's so comfortable. It's what I'm used to doing.
Okay, beautiful. So you overplaying what we say.
Over.
How many hours per day?
Well, this past week, I mean, for me, low is average like 4 or 5 hours
a day.
Yeah.
Woo!
On the low end.
Okay, but it's your profession, so it's a good excuse. It was.
Yes, that's the distinction.
So the profession became the addiction. Got it. Okay, nice. Okay. What else? Guys, shoot, there are many. Pleasing people, okay, this is something that is a little bit more emotional. It's not like, yeah. Beautiful.
Procrastination, Michelle.
Procrastination, beautiful. What else? Staying up late, okay? Proven scientifically that it's bad for us. We do it, and we enjoy the freedom of doing it, isn't it? We love the freedom. So, oh, it's so quiet at night. I can do whatever. Nobody's bothering me, and I have the freedom to do it. But I know that day after, it's probably going to be hard to have enough energy to function and to create. It could be that I just wasted the night out on things that not necessarily contribute. Some of the Kabbalists, they study at night, so they wake up specially because the night has the energy within it, because all the brains are a bit more quieter. They're all asleep, most of the people. Therefore, there is a way to tap into wisdom. So some of the Kabbalists, they wake up during the night in order to study, in order to enlighten themselves. So there is a purpose. You can do that. And actually, they feel more energized during the day because of that. What else? People online?
Yeah, Ijari, getting into toxic relationships.
Toxic relationship, beautiful.
Self-sabotage, Adrian.
Self-sabotage, amazing.
Daniel, feelings of jealousy and hatred are easy to experience sometimes.
Okay, beautiful. Good examples. So the question is, do we really have free will, or we have self-determination? It means that we meant to actually do something with no choice. It's a good question, isn't it? That's the question of life. And when I make choices, who is making those choices? Now we learn that there are two voices inside of us. There is the voice of the body, and there is the voice of the soul. So it depends to which voice I'm listening to, isn't it? Yeah, that determine all my decision making, that determine all my calculation, where to go, when to go, business plans, and all of that. Yeah. So when I'm coming to understanding that I truly have free will, but there is a force, there is something that causing me, for some reason, not to do the right things, and to jump and to be excited to do the wrong things. I do the wrong things with passion. With passion. I do the right things with burden. Calling my parents, talking to them, and try to be nice, sharing with others, volunteering, doing my assignments, injecting full energy within my workplace, like being there, wanting to add value. It's burden, it's too hard, it's required too much for me, isn't it? But all the wrong things, passion, wow, excitement. How could it be? Do I really want to go on a self-destruct? Are we masochist? That we doing all those wrong things, even though we know that they're not good for us? And when it's coming to the good things, going on a diet, going on a field trip, going on a place where it can give me more wisdom, going on a volunteering state, a kindness state. Those are more difficult. Why? It's a good question. Do you agree? And it's so obvious that we never ask those questions. How come? I want to be good, the bottom line. Deep inside, we all want to be great people. We don't want to explode in anger. We don't want to be reactive. We don't want to be fearful of everything. We don't want to be lazy. Deep inside, all of us, do you agree? But we do it anyways. Because there is a gravitation, spiritual force that's pushing us to do it. There is a force that's causing us to do it. And this force exists from the beginning of creation. We need to understand this force. Without understanding this force, we're going to take all the blame on ourselves, thinking we are bad people, we don't have the willpower, we are not deserving. all this belief system, negative belief system that we see on ourselves because of all the different events, bad experience that we had in life, responding in reactive way, in explosive way, that we think we are the bad people. We don't understand that, you know, in order for me really to make an effort, I have to go against gravity. Do you realize that? Yeah? That if you decide now to go to the gym and lift those weights, you're going against gravity. But what happens when you do that? You get stronger if you do it right. You get healthier. After every training, you feel so good about yourself. You feel that you accomplished something. But the trick is that I had to make a decision that I'm going to feel pain voluntarily, and I'm going to do it anyways. So guys, gym is just an obvious example, but this is something that we need to copy paste to every event of life. Yeah? So let's learn a little bit more. So the Kabbalists understood that there is a force called the opponent. There is a code name Kabbalistically to that force. Many of the religious formats translated to something external, but the Kabbalists, as the code name for it, is called Satan. The religious understanding make it Satan. Satan. Oh, there is this angel with a fiery head, with a sphere coming to answer us. No. There is no such a thing. This is just maybe a very creative expression of our imaginations, how this force operates on us. That's the reason it got this kind of description. But it's an internal force. It's the voice. It's a voice inside of us. Okay? So what is the opponent? It's the reactive voice within that distracts me from listening to the voice of my soul. The word Satan, it's coming from the word to distract. It's a force that actually is saying, you know what, don't go left, which is the right path for you, go to the right. And he's tempting us and will give us all the reason why the right is much better, intellectually better, emotionally better, safer, and so on and so on. So it's a voice, it's a force. Now, if this voice and force exists within me, and there is many me out there, like 9 billion people, we call me, they call them me. So together this also join to a force. And that force, it's the force that unfortunately generating all the reactivity of people. And because people reactive, which the opponent feed on us being reactive, being exclusive, being angry, being fearful, being judgmental, being just lazy, procrastination, all of those things he feed upon. So every time I'm not creator, which is the soul, I'm actually reactive, which is giving energy to that force and making him stronger within me. So you heard about the story that the ancient people, indigenous, say that there are 2 wolves inside of us. Yeah, you heard the story? 2 wolves. Say, which wolf is going to be stronger? The one that you defeat the most. That's simple as that. So within us, there is each and every one of us, and there is our personal other voice, the voice of the opponent, that constantly try to convince us to find the easier way out, not to earn, not to be creative. It's a force. If this force wasn't exist, we wouldn't make those wrong choices. But when the voice is coming to say, oh, this piece of cake inside the fridge. Oh, it's going to give me so much satisfaction now that I know it's going to compensate of any lack that I had and any bad event that I had during the day. Let me go for it. And I'm so excited to jump on it. And what happens later when I'm full with this sugar and the sugar rush went down? I feel lousy again, isn't it? I feel lousy. Worse than where I was before. But something tempted me, telling me an amazing story, promising me, like the treasure, from just going and choosing this wrong thing for myself. Toxic relation, addiction to something, just doing nothing, being passive, and so on and so on. There are thousands of examples, my friends. Okay, so let's explain, because you're trying to figure out, okay, where is force coming from? You told us in the beginning of the course that there is the light, and the light wants the best for us. So how come there is this force? Yeah. If the lights want us to reveal itself, if the lights want us to come closer to it, if the light wants to give us all the colors of the spectrum, how come we need to have this? So look what the Zohar shared with us 2,000 years ago. When man is born, the evil inclination enters with him and constantly denounces him. As it is written, sin crouches at the door. What is meant by sin crouches? It refers to the evil inclination. At the door means at the opening of the womb, at a person birth. So said, the moment we get out of the womb of our mother, that's where this force join us and escorting us. And there is a many secret to this verse. It's very ancient, yeah? So it says, where we meet our opponent, usually in the gateway to something new in our life. That's where we meet our worst opponent. When we are about to cross a door, it means to a new beginning, we have to be tested by the opponent. Which another word to the opponent, as you see, evil inclination. Have you heard that word before? It's used only in the Bible mostly. Evil inclination. It means that there is a desire inside of us to do something wrong. Yeah? There is an inclination. It's inclined inside of us. It means that it's inside of us. That's the reason. But it's not necessarily who we are, because who we are truly is the soul. But in order to exercise free will, I have to have the choice. And that's the reason this force was created. In order for me to have free will in this world, this force has to be there to test me. Where do I want to be really? Do I want to be really fit and strong and healthy? So I have to be tested by all the supermarkets around the world. Because what they're selling to me, it's usually not the right food, yeah? Especially the processed one, yeah? Any processed food, even in the organic market, if you go to the ingredients, you will see most of it, it's not good for you. Most of it, yeah? They give it good names, they color it, they say it's organic, but at times, also there is even a test, yeah? And the test happens from the moment I wake up in the morning. As the moment I born to this world, already the testing trials start to begin. Any questions? So, yes.
So you can correct me if this is a wrong statement, but the cost of all of the poverty, all of the injustice, all of the evil, all of the wrongdoing in the world is free will. That's essentially what's being said here, is that the cost of all those things is that we can choose, like we have free will.
You can say that. You can say that. I mean, it's a deep question,
Okay.
but definitely when we say if everything is predetermined or everything related to free will, both are right, isn't it? Because if someone born poor, how could he chose that? So we said, yeah, the soul might have chosen this kind of movie in order to learn something. There is a lesson there, yeah? But definitely, I need to bring myself to a place where I can truly choose, no matter what is the starting point. If poverty reach, that I can choose my soul mission, yeah? Which is what? To be co-creator, no matter where I am.
Just, sorry, one more question. It just feels like this force is not distributed equally. Like some people carry this force so much heavier than others, and for someone to live out the desire of their soul, I feel like it's easier for some people who incarnate than other people.
So you feel that for some reason, when you look at life, you're saying, wow, this force has so much power over people.
Concentrated in certain people, and it's, what do I say? It just doesn't feel like it's a force that is equal everywhere, like an ever-present thing. It feels like it's concentrated within a specific soul.
Maybe this statement in the slide will explain what I mean.
Yeah.
Who is the real hero? Ask the Zohar. The one who conquered his inclination, who conquered his ego. So to degree, is that written right?
Spelled, that is, I think it's an error. That is concord, not concur.
Ah, yeah.
Might work actually.
C-O-N.
Because that sounds like
Conquered, it means to like conquer the country.
That's right. Defeat.
Defeat, is that the right word?
No, concord actually means to come together.
Ah,
To be in concord.
okay, no.
harmony between
Yeah.
people or groups.
Concord is harmony.
Wow, so it's almost the opposite.
Opposite.
Wow.
that's the opponent.
Okay, the opponent so much got into the spelling. So conquered, it means to defeat the inclination. So to the degree that someone is constantly understanding that there is this internal war inside of me and I'm going to defeat it, is the true hero. It's not an external hero. It's not someone that has power over people. It's someone that has power over people, but he actually, let's say a CEO, has power over people, but he chooses to be kind, not to abuse his employee. Is that making sense? That is true hero. True hero is not the one that has the force necessarily. It's the one that sees that, wow, I have so much influence. People love me so much. But he's realized, wait a second. Yeah, but I see what I feel inside. It's not who I really truly am. I know that this talent was given to me. I don't really own any of that. Yeah, that's a hero. It doesn't take the credit for something which is not his. Yeah, that is true hero. Someone that have the tendency to fall into addictions, and he knows that he loves to do something, but he said, no, I'm going to restrict it. That's a true hero. Someone that has a fear of doing something, but say, I'm going to do it anyways, because I know it's positive. I know there was a calling, there was a voice of my soul telling me I should do it, and it's telling me every day I should do it. And I didn't listen to it. Today I'm going to listen to it. That's a real hero. Conquering, defeating the voice of the opponent. Is that helping you to understand? And unfortunately,
I just realized my question wasn't really specific enough.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, no worries.
Yeah.
As long as we are on the same page, understanding, because this force, unfortunately, one of his biggest tricks over humanity is to convince us that doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. There is no this force. We don't. Oh, I didn't see it. I decided to go and do this stupid thing or to say this wrong thing to this person. I decided to do. No, there is nobody else. It's him. It's his fault. There is no other force. You understand? So we always try to find within the logic mind understanding why things are happening the way they're happening. But we don't take into calculation, putting into the how do you say, to the equation,
Factor in the equation, yes.
the factory that there is this force that taking place, that exists. We should now say, oh, who was that? Who made this decision? My opponent or my soul? Which voice I was listening to today? Okay, so now you have another parameter to put into the equation. Very important. If you start having this conversation, say, who's making the decision right now? My ego? Which is my soul? My fear or my lack? Who's talking? So, how this force operates? So, through our thoughts, so if we have different negative limited thoughts, it means that that's the way it comes. Yeah? Give me an example of negative thoughts that we have.
Not good enough.
I'm not good enough. Perfect. This is you just summarize, all the generation. This is the voice that we have inside of us. I'm not good enough. I'm not good. Most of us. Yeah. Words, 2 words. What kind of words will be related to what my opponent convinced me to say?
I'm a victim. It's everyone else that's making me unhappy.
That could be actually a thought, because you're not saying I'm a victim to anyone, yeah? So a word would be, I hate you. Yeah? I hate myself. That's maybe a thought also. But what would be like, why are you doing it to me? Yes? And anything that blaming, victimizing, pulling out negativity from my own mouth, yeah? All limitations, yeah? I can do that much. I'm capable of that much. Feelings, our emotions, negative emotions that we have, okay? Also related to that force. Actions, eventually, from thoughts, feelings, words, then comes actions. Words are actions, but of the mind. It's a different form of action. It's an action. It's like I'm putting something into manifestation with my words. Another way to manifest through actions, ends. And belief systems. The way I view myself, others, and the world. The way I judge everything. Usually we're constantly in judgment. Ourselves and others, our environment. Wasting time on putting tags on everything. Yeah? That's the opponent. Because what the light said, we're all equal. Everything has the soul inside of it if I just look for it. But I put a tag on something external within the person. Is that making sense? Okay, so let's do a short workshop. I want you to go back to a challenging situation you have, that you experienced lately, even today. Try to wake the feeling you had in that moment. Observe the voice of the opponent and journal for yourself. Write it down. Write it in the chat, write it for you, and maybe let's give a few examples. Something that happened today or lately. Any negative feeling that you've been carrying for the past few days could be an example for that. I had that event that caused me to be upset for 5 days. It's a bit too long, but yeah, that's what we do. I got depressed only for the winter, not for the summer. The summer, suddenly I felt much better. So try to journal again. What was the voice of the opponent with these feelings, causing those feelings? What was the storytelling to lead me to this kind of experience. There must be a story going on within me to convince me that everything goes bad. So what's the story of the opponent? How did he sue it for you? Sue, you say? So. But there is a better way to tailored. Weave, yeah, that's the word. Weave. How the opponent weave the story for you. Yes? Okay, so ready for any examples? Someone wants to share something exciting? It's never super exciting to share and to be vulnerable, isn't it? Why?
My little story here. Not too exciting though, sorry.
Share it with excitement. Forget about it.
So this week, I was driving a company vehicle, and it was a big, just chaos, a mess, construction, cement truck, police, just like a chaos in an intersection. And I got a bit overwhelmed, and I had like 6 dogs in my van. And it was just like a lot of noise and a lot of things going on. And I bumped into someone behind me, and I've been driving for 12 years and I never had an accident or anything. And this was like my heart just sank. And the homework did come to mind. Like, why is this in my movie? But the person I hit behind me came up next to the van, and
so it's his fault if he hit you, no?
I was driving backwards to avoid
so it's your fault.
avoid a truck that was in my way. And so I was going backwards and I hit them. So it was my fault, and I could say partially her fault for being there also, not giving me space. But the story is, I lied to my boss about what happened, and the thing is that nothing even happened. I was just like stressed and overwhelmed, and I called my boss that this thing happened, and there was no damage to the car that I was driving, no damage to the car behind me, but I still lied about it to take an opportunity to make myself look better, or to like take the blame away from me. And
it's a very good example.
I don't know. I was just feeling guilty about it this week because I was like, why did I do that? Why did I lie about it? I don't know.
Very good example.
And yeah, that's my story. Anyways.
No, it's very good because, you know, even though nothing happened, my ego want to justify that, you know, and willing to lie to someone in order to protect itself. You understand? That's how the voice of the opponent told you, protect yourself, you know, be right. Even though you made a mistake, doesn't matter what happened, not happened. Thanks God, nothing, we had no damage. But make sure you're protecting yourself. That's the voice of the opponent. Beautiful voice.
We have online Ijari. Going back to the example of my tikkun of my family, I'm impatient and reactive. And in every fight, that voice tells me to answer it a bad way. But this week, I prefer to wait.
So what's the
She
voice?
feels like they need to answer to her family in a bad way. That's the opponent. And then she decided this week to wait and not answer.
Okay, remember, the opponent is not the other person. Like the hero is not the one that shows strength, you know. The opponent is never the other person. It's the voice inside of me. So she might made the right decision. You might make the right decision not answering them, but this is show that you might overcome the opponent. They are not the opponent. You answered in a different way. What was your usual way for you to answer them? That's your opponent, reactive. And you decided not to be reactive. It means that you overcame the opponent. Okay? But I want to hear a little bit about your opponents, not about your heroine. Yes, yeah, please. Tell us about your opponent a little bit.
You tell me. Okay. So today, in my work situation, I work 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. And and you can choose your days. So the days I've chosen are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I've got Thursday, Friday, work at home. Great. So Monday's always hard. So I get into work and the entire internet is down. So we have to use the hotspot from our phones to be able to access internet. And it's not just our office, but it's multiple offices. And then I find that I have a problem. Somehow my phone and my computer are not talking to each other. So my boss tells me to go get the IT help. So I'm on the phone with IT for 2 hours. She can hear the whole conversation. In the end, they say, okay, there's something wrong with your phone as well. Your hotspot is not working. It's not connecting. So my boss says, okay, listen, I've heard the whole 2-hour conversation. Go and work at home because you got to work at home. Okay. So I go home and it doesn't get fixed on Monday. It doesn't get fixed on Tuesday. It didn't get fixed today. Oh, well, got fixed at 4:00 today. But the whole time I've known that I could have piggybacked off somebody else's hotspot. But no one in the office and nobody on the helpline and my boss didn't say, well, you can piggyback off mine. I mean, hotspot is as many people as, okay, it charges more, but you can have 5 people on the same hotspot. No one suggested that, and I knew that, but I kept quiet because I wanted to go home. I wanted to work from home. I did not want to have to sit in the office.
You naughty you. That's not nice. You're a mentor in the Kabbalah Center.
I know. I have to tell the guys, who they're really sitting with.
This is...
So it was so, and like I even brought this up to my partner. I said, I'm actually feeling a little bad because I know that I could just hotspot from somebody else's hotspot, and why didn't they even tell me to do that? And what is the IT person thinking?
He probably has his own opponent.
And my partner just laughed and said, hey, it's the government. Like, I work for the government.
Exactly.
Said, if they didn't notice, you did. You spent
You're
2 hours.
Okay.
You're okay. And it's like,
and you knew that. You knew that to begin with.
And it's just, but like, oh, I don't approve of myself. But I still stayed at home.
So the question is,
yeah,
are we going to work, or are we just going to have a job? That's the question.
And I did work. I mean, I've done a lot of work.
I know.
But.
No, but again, that's the question. We have this opportunity every day. Are we going to just show to the workplace, or are we really going to add something and going to overcome our comfort zone and so on and so on and so on? Yeah, and really be productive, or we're going to think about, this is the new virus, like the working from home. It's very dangerous because some people, have the temptation these days, if they doing everything possible or they're doing other things. Yeah. So we constantly have these tests and temptations to do the wrong things, even though we are paid for it. All right, very good. Anything from the online?
No.
Okay, the main tricks of the opponents. Take a picture of it and study it for this week. So reactive behavior, selfishness, thinking me all the time, upset about the past or worried about the future, doubting the light, doubting the system, doubting the existence of higher force that wants me to connect, that wants to be on my side and wants to give me rewards. Negative thoughts and judgments, seeking approval or recognizing or recognition for self-worth. Lusts. Okay, lust. Everything that relates to lust is the opponent. Blindness. It means that I don't see. It means something, there is some kind of covering right now, not allow me to go deeper. I'm trying to stay in the surface. Shallow, being shallow. Yeah?
What's last?
Lust?
Yeah. Like
Sexual.
stuff or?
I think we have lust for food.
Okay.
Yeah. What else?
Like an overwhelming desire for something that even though you know that you just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just have to consume.
Desire with a lot of fire related to it that you cannot handle yourself. Even a passion, anger also could be some kind of something that give me a lot of energy, a lot of feel power. Okay, so spiritual rule number 3. Overcoming the opponent within reveals the power of my soul. Okay? So every time I'm overcoming my opponent, my inclination, my desire for shortcut, I'm actually tapping into the voice of my soul. I'm more connected to my soul. So what is the tool? I want to start to learn about my opponent. You know, every team that goes to the championships, we learn the opponent team. They want to learn their strength. They want to learn where is their, how do you say, weaknesses, exactly. And they want to take advantage of it. Otherwise, it's impossible to win the game. Therefore, if I want to win the game of my life, of my tikkun, I need to study who is this opponent inside of me? How does it function? Because the way it functions with you, it's not necessarily functioning with me. Okay? It's different. I need to study my own opponent, not other people's opponent, mine. Okay? So observe it. Start learning about it. So we did that. Okay, so thought into action. That's from homework. Recognize and record moments during your day when you catch your opponent in action. It is a treasure hunt. What does your opponent say? What are their argument, pessimism, defenses, and or negative belief system? Was it the illusion of lack of separation? Was it moment of drama, anger, victim? Most important, identify with the voice of your soul. Okay, take a picture of that. We try to send the slides also on the WhatsApp, but just for you to have, this is some instruction for me really to start familiar of how my opponent communicate to me, my ego communicate to me. A very powerful book we recommend, it's called Satan, as we said, an autobiography. It's a very sophisticated book that the center wrote, coming from the teaching of the Rav Berg, the founder of our center, that it's like the opponent describes how he tricks people. It's like he talking to you in this book and describes how he tricks us. It's very, very interesting if you want to get deeper to the understanding, which is very important to understand. Okay, so the different methods, meditations, events, everything is around to give us enough strength to the soul, to empower the soul in a way that we be capable to overcome the opponent. So one of the methods is meditation. Breath of meditation, it's something that's been used over the years. With the breath, we're changing the rhythm of our brain to be aligned more with the voice of the soul versus the alpha, which is the reactive voice. It's like the noisy, yeah? The noise that is all around us. We want to disconnect from that. We want to tap into messages that are coming from our soul. We want it to be more vivid and more clear. And one of the ways is meditation. So we're going to have a session tomorrow with Tamar. It's not related to the course, but if you want, it's very open to all of you and your friends. You're welcome to join in person or online. And we also gonna have a special gathering. One of the things that when we are alone, we don't receive any feedback on our opponent. This means that it's very, very difficult to overcome it. When we are in a group of mind-like people joining, communicating, receiving from them, we're most likely to be more successful in this mission, the spiritual mission. So the spiritual mission always relate to community, and we have a community here. If you want, you can join us on Friday. It's the new moon of the month of Pisces. You can join to this dinner, to gathering with the members of the community. Yes.
I saw the cost is like a range. It's like $25 to $80 or something. Like, how much does it cost?
So yeah, the cost is very, if you are a child, if you are this or that, so you have to open and choose what fits for you, and then you know exactly what the cost. Okay? Any question from the online? I'm going to come to have a conversation with them right now. Any questions here? So continue, please, with the mentor. Oh, there is another seminar that happens next week. It's about for Valentine's Day. It's enhancing relationship, online and in person. Okay? Beautiful. So you can work on that together now. And I'm going to go and take care of our friends online.
Thank you, David.
Thank